little bit, but more so like it's Cambodia and Bangkok, Thailand.
Yeah.
They'll go over there, and the victims could range anywhere from 5 years old to 21 to adults, and they'll have kids. I mean, it's really sad, but they literally would have kids 5 years old performing sexual acts on grown men because they're either sold in the black market or they're kidnapped from their family. This is some information about the facilitators, which is people who actually put on this type of stuff. And like it varies from different people. Mostly it's basically like a brothel type house, or like in common words people say it's like a whorehouse type of thing.
Yeah.
But a lot of people aren't there because they want to be. They were put into that lifestyle, and sometimes, say for instance, they kidnap an 11-year-old girl. They'll get her hooked on drugs so bad that she will do anything because she's on the drug. And then she'll become dependent on the drug and won't be able to stop doing it because she needs the drug. And that's how they actually get their cooperation after a while. At first they beat them, they tie them up or whatever. But after a while they actually are a willing participant because they actually need the drug. I don't know much about that. I know I've heard a little bit about this. They didn't talk much about this in our class, but in Mexico, people were kidnapped on a daily basis for things similar to this. It could be anybody.
Yeah.
Have you heard anything about that in Mexico at all?
I heard in Mexico, Cambodia, Thailand, France, anywhere over in other countries. Well, here as well, but they bring them over here to get over there.
And see, a lot of it's not reported here because they don't realize what's really actually going on.
Yeah.
But they actually missing truck stops in here. Truck stops like the TA Travel Center here in Slidell. I can assure you that at one time there was probably somebody that was taken there against their will because they were down on their luck and they were looking for a ride, trying to get out of town. Somebody took them and actually human trafficked them across the night, just taking them from truck stop to truck stop, making them perform sexual acts on somebody to do for money.
Yeah, it's usually been in Florida and California and New York.
Oh yeah. And that's where I've actually seen a while back where a young lady had it happen to her, and eventually she committed suicide because she couldn't live with herself anymore. All right, I can go on some more, but I just want to get any questions at all.
Like how much? Do you know how much money is actually brought in from this whole thing?
Brought into the United States, or
brought in? Period.
I would say over billions, probably around $5 to $10 billion a year, not million but billion, because it's so profitable and people will pay. So there are so many sick people out there that will actually pay to have this experience over and over, and it becomes an addiction to them. There's a thing called sex addict, and these people were actually sex addicts against victims of or underage like crimes.
So do you know where exactly is most popular in the U.S. but not in other countries?
If I would have to say New York and California, Los Angeles area, two of your most populated areas, two areas that are frequented by foreign people. Like you have a lot of foreign nationals that come into New York, and then of course the Mexican border, right there on the California border. It's something that is easy for victims to get across and taken from. Maybe a little bit in Texas. Basically any of your border states on the south of the border. I have no knowledge of any kind of problems with the Canadian border, but I mean it's possible. But basically any border state and New York. New York has a population.
Yeah.
It's very, very possible down there in Miami and Key West, though.
Yeah,
you have Cuba.
So do you know if it happened out here recently or a long time ago?
I have no knowledge of any case that was actually considered human trafficking in Slidell. But I do believe that it's possible it does not happen very important.
Okay.
And see, these are victims that they're not from here. Because you got every year Mardi Gras has, say, 4 million, 5 million people come through. And out of that, there's probably a good 10,000 of them that don't have permanent homes. And a lot of them are women that are probably taken advantage of, or actually something like this could be done to at the local area truck stops, hotels. There's a lot of things that are done at hotels and motels. And they probably wouldn't report it to us, because by the time they got somewhere else, they may report it to that agency, or they may not report it at all. A lot of this stuff's not reported. It's very unfortunate that people, when they become a victim, a lot of times they don't report it, and they just hold it within, and they don't tell it. It's embarrassing, it's degrading, it's humiliating. You know, it's not necessarily their fault, but somehow they may feel like it is.
It's like, do you know why people don't know about it at all unless they've seen like the movie Taken, but nobody knows about it?
I don't know. I guess it's so underground. It's not something that people openly talk about. It happens, but it's almost like people don't talk about it until someone prominent gets involved, or like we catch a prominent figure doing it, or a prominent victim. Because a lot of people that are taken are at such a lower social class of money that some people, and unfortunately, man, I think they're important enough to even worry about. But that's especially in lower, income countries, basically third world countries. That's what it's basically like.
That's about it.
Got another question?
No other.
I wish I had my book with me from the school. So what average ages they range?
Between 4 and 18.
Probably.
They don't want anybody over that because they want the younger. They say that's
more money.
Yeah.
Very, very sad, very sick. And there is a lot of American travelers who go to these countries to satisfy their evil desire.
Yeah. They say there are little boys, but only in Afghanistan. It's called Bachabazi.
Really?
Yeah, it's only straight little boys, no girls, it's all boys. They make them dress up, and then the men, it'll be in front of a bunch of men. They take them home and that.
Yeah. A lot of our internet porn and the child porn, that's where it comes from, the third world countries and all that. And that's how I know we sometimes will catch somebody with internet porn or child porn, and they may have been involved with it in a different country. And that's when it becomes kind of tricky because we have no jurisdiction over that. We have jurisdiction of them having the porn or the pictures, the videos, and everything here in the United States, but we have no jurisdiction of actually doing what they did on tape.
Oh, where it came from.
I know sometimes the federal government gets involved when it comes to that, and that would probably that'd be the FBI and Immigration and Customs Enforcement, which is ICE.
Yeah, I heard of that.
And that's who I think they actually put the school on for me. That's about all I got, I guess. If I happen to find my book, I'm gonna look for my book tomorrow because I'll be on tonight till 11. I'll look for it tomorrow and I'll call you because you got till Tuesday, right? If I find it, I'll give it to you this week and look at it.
Okay.
There's a handout. I think it's a CD they gave you with some short videos on it.
Yeah.
It's actually really interesting that you're doing this, though.
Yeah,
It's
no
good.
one else is doing it.
People don't realize it.
Yeah, nobody knows. I ask friends and they're like, what?
In a way, people, it may not be on the broad scope of the world, but for instance, a young lady like yourself or anybody around here can get picked up by somebody around here and get drugged up, and that person could be trafficked across the city of Slidell to different houses to perform these type of things unwillingly by somebody. And it's the same thing, same concept. It's on a smaller scope.
Yeah, they use anything like using for modeling if they want to be in there, then they'll get trafficked, take their passports and make them pay back or whatever.
And that a lot with the Russian or people like what do you call them, like mail order brides like that.
Yeah.
They get over here in the United States and they get dependent on somebody and they get trapped into something like this.
Yep.
Okay.
Thanks.